I never expected a simple question to change the way I looked at retirement forever. It started during a cross-country road trip shortly after my 63rd birthday. I had spent decades working, saving, planning, and waiting for the day when life would finally slow down. Like many people, I believed retirement was a finish line, a destination where all the sacrifices would finally pay off. But somewhere between small-town diners, coastal boardwalks, mountain cabins, and retirement communities, I became curious about something. What did retirees regret the most? Not financial experts, not influencers, not people still dreaming about retirement. People who were actually living it. So I decided to ask. Over the next several months, I spoke with 100 retirees from different backgrounds. Some had millions in savings. Some lived modestly. Some traveled the world. Some stayed close to family. I asked them one simple question. If you could go back 20 years, what is one thing you wish you had done sooner? I expected answers about money. I expected investment tips. I expected tax strategies. Instead, I heard stories. Stories filled with wisdom. Stories filled with joy. Stories filled with heartbreak. And surprisingly, most of them shared the same regrets. What they told me changed my life, and it may change yours too. They wish they had started living before retirement. The most common answer shocked me. Many retirees told me they spent decades postponing happiness. They delayed vacations. They delayed hobbies. They delayed adventures. They delayed dreams. Everything was saved for someday. One retired teacher named Margaret looked at me with tears in her eyes and said, I spent 40 years saying I'd do it when I retired. Then retirement arrived faster than I expected. She paused. And by then, some opportunities were already gone. Her husband had passed away 2 years before retirement. The trips they planned together never happened. The memories they intended to create remained only plans written in notebooks. Margaret wasn't talking about luxury. She was talking about moments, watching sunsets, taking weekend road trips, trying new experiences, making memories while health and time were still abundant. Her advice was simple. Stop putting your entire life on layaway. That sentence stayed with me. Many retirees explain that retirement should not be the beginning of living. It should be a continuation of a life already being lived. They wish they had traveled more while they were younger. Travel came up again and again, not because retirees wanted expensive vacations, because travel gave them perspective. One retired engineer named David told me, I spent 35 years saving for retirement travel. Then arthritis arrived before retirement did. He laughed softly. I have the money now. My knees have other plans. The room went silent. His point was powerful. Money matters. Planning matters. But health is never guaranteed. Many retirees encourage younger generations to take meaningful trips now instead of waiting decades. You do not need luxury resorts. You do not need first-class tickets. You do not need 5-star hotels. Sometimes the most meaningful experiences come from simple adventures, a drive to a nearby town, a weekend at the beach, a train ride through the countryside, a visit to a place you've always wanted to see. Several retirees told me their greatest memories were not tied to possessions. They were tied to places. And more importantly, the people they shared those places with. They wished they had worried less about what others thought. This answer appeared so often that I began writing it in bold letters in my notebook. Many retirees admitted they spent years trying to impress people who eventually disappeared from their lives. They bought larger houses than they needed, more expensive cars than they wanted, clothes they barely wore, all because they were concerned about appearances. One retired business owner laughed when he said, the people I was trying to impress don't even remember what I drove. The truth hit hard. Many people sacrifice financial freedom trying to look successful, yet the retirees who seemed happiest were rarely the ones showing off wealth. They were the ones who had freedom. Freedom to choose. Freedom to travel. Freedom to spend time with family. Freedom to wake up without financial stress. One retiree told me, the older you get, the less you care about being impressive and the more you care about being happy. They wish they had invested earlier. Of course, money did come up frequently, but not in the way I expected. Retirees rarely talked about getting rich. Instead, they talked about the incredible power of time. Many regretted waiting too long to invest. Some delayed because they thought they needed a lot of money. Others delayed because they felt intimidated. Several admitted they spent years saying, "I'll start next year." Then another year passed, and another, and another. One retired accountant showed me two charts. The difference between starting early and starting late was astonishing. His advice was straightforward. Time is often more valuable than the amount you invest. The earlier you begin, the more opportunities your money has to grow. Nearly every financially comfortable retiree shared one common trait. They started before they felt ready. They wished they had taken better care of their health. This was perhaps the most emotional category of all. Many retirees spoke about health with deep honesty. One 78-year-old retiree said, "Retirement is only enjoyable if your body can come along." That sentence drew nods from everyone nearby. Many wished they had exercised consistently. Many wished they had eaten better. Many wished they had reduced stress. Many wished they had prioritized sleep. The interesting thing was that none of them were talking about perfection. They weren't recommending extreme fitness routines. They simply wished they had treated their health as a long-term investment. One retiree compared health to compound interest. The benefits accumulate slowly. The consequences accumulate slowly too. But eventually, both become impossible to ignore. They wish they had spent more time with family. As conversations continued, one theme became impossible to miss. Nobody wished they had spent more evenings at the office. Nobody wished they had attended more meetings. Nobody wished they had answered more emails. But many wished they had spent more time with family. One grandfather showed me a photograph of his children when they were young. He stared at it quietly before speaking. You don't realize you're living the good old days until they're gone. The room became silent. His children were grown. His grandchildren lived in different states. The years had passed quickly, far quicker than he imagined. Many retirees encourage people to protect family time fiercely, because careers can often be rebuilt. Lost years usually cannot. They wish they had built more friendships. Loneliness was another topic that surfaced repeatedly. Several retirees explained that retirement can become surprisingly isolating. Workplaces naturally create social connections. Once retirement begins, those interactions often disappear. The retirees who seemed happiest were those who maintained strong friendships. They joined clubs, volunteered, traveled with friends, attended community events, stayed socially active. One retiree said, "Money can make retirement comfortable. Friends make retirement meaningful." I wrote that down immediately. They wish they had learned new skills. Many retirees regretted limiting themselves. They wanted to learn languages, play instruments, write books, start businesses, paint, teach, create, explore. Yet fear often stopped them. One woman finally learned photography at age 72. She smiled as she showed me her pictures. Then she said something unforgettable. "I spent 30 years thinking I was too old. Then I realized I was wasting time worrying about age." Her photos were incredible, not because they were perfect, because they represented a dream finally pursued. They wished they had understood that time is the real wealth. As my journey neared its end, I noticed something fascinating. The happiest retirees did not necessarily have the most money. They had something else. Balance. They understood that money is important, but time is priceless. They valued experiences, relationships, health, purpose, freedom. Many said they spent most of their younger years chasing money, while assuming time would always be available later. Retirement taught them otherwise. One retiree looked out toward the ocean before giving me the most powerful answer of all. "If I could live my life again, I would stop treating time like it's unlimited." I sat quietly after hearing that, because deep down, I knew he was right. The question that changed everything. After interviewing 100 retirees, I expected to come away with a list of financial strategies. Instead, I received a masterclass on life. Their biggest regrets weren't usually about money. They were about waiting to travel, waiting to spend time with loved ones, waiting to pursue dreams, waiting to enjoy life. waiting to take care of their health, waiting to start. Again and again, I heard the same lesson. The perfect time rarely arrives. Life happens now, not next year, not after the next promotion, not after the next raise, not after retirement. Now. So before ending my journey, I started asking a second question. What are you most grateful for? The answers were beautiful. Family dinners, road trips, friendships, sunsets, grandchildren, simple conversations, shared laughter, ordinary moments that became extraordinary memories. None of them mentioned a bigger television. None mentioned a luxury car. None mentioned impressing strangers. They talked about people, experiences, memories, and time. Lots of time spent with the people they loved. As I drove home from the final interview, I realized the greatest lesson these 100 retirees had given me. Retirement isn't simply about having enough money. It's about reaching that stage of life with your health, relationships, memories, curiosity, and sense of purpose still intact. The future matters. Saving matters. Planning matters. But don't sacrifice today's life completely for tomorrow's security. Build both. Because one day, many years from now, you may find yourself looking back and asking the same question I asked those retirees. What do I wish I had done sooner? And if their wisdom teaches us anything, it's this. Call the people you care about. Take the trip. Start the hobby. Invest in your future. Protect your health. Make memories. Learn new things. Be present. Because the years move faster than anyone expects. And the retirees I met all agreed on one thing. The best time to start living more fully was years ago. The second best time is today.